Name right here.
Okay. For me to rent this? Sure.
Yeah, so
I can't click on it.
This is neat. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was able to be heard.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect, thank you. I'm gonna go back on mute.
We're just waiting for the rest of the committee members to log on and we will start the meeting.
Sounds good.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Hope my variance is approved.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I'm still waiting on the board members to log in.
Oh, it's the host, okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
okay, we can go ahead and get started.
okay. Get the preamble up. Okay, in compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law in section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting has the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded by way of the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed by way of YouTube. All requests to speak on a particular matter by way of our website and email have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Carmela, do you want to call the roll to start?
Mr. Maschke,
Here.
Mr. Bradley,
Here.
Mr. Dink,
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, Ms. Aston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Patricia McGinty Aston on behalf of the City of Cleveland. If we could verify live stream from Mr. Rulins.
Yes, we're live streaming on YouTube.
Thank you, Maurice. And Mr. Chairman, as we do each time since the beginning of the pandemic, the city objects to the use of the chat function based upon the COVID restrictions and guidance posted on the Ohio Supreme Court's website. If we were meeting in room 514 as prior to the pandemic, there would not be side chats available during the proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. We do have Councilman Harshaw. And so I think, Councilman, could you unmute?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you on for just the one case, 10522?
Yes.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, we need to call that case up first.
What?
10522?
Maurice is going to be, it's part of the adjudication order. It's going to be the very last slide. some of the very last slide. This is swimming pool adjudication order. Go down one more.
What was the number again?
105.
Ah, there it is.
Okay, so,
I don't, let's make, is that appellant? Is the appellant available now?
I see a William Roca on there. Okay, there he is.
okay.
I'm
All right,
here.
let me call it. 8105-22-4777 Lanchester Road.
Yes.
Application and fees are in order. This is an adjudication order to install a swimming pool proposing 6 feet away from the property line. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law, Councilman Chris Harsh. With the appellant or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
William Rocha, ROCHA.
Okay, those giving testimony solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
Councilman, do you wish to speak before or after?
I'll wait to the end. Thank you.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mr. Rocha. Let us know what your plans are.
Yes, my plans are to have the Lighthouse Pools install a new pool for me on my property next to my deck. I've had a pool there, I don't know, about maybe 30, 35 years. And so I need a variance, they say, to put a pool, which would be smaller than I had before
Okay.
on the property.
Is it, so it's in a similar location as the other one?
Same location, yes.
Same location. Okay. Let's go over to Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, we don't have any objections.
Okay. And did we put something out to the neighbors? Is there any objections there?
So, Mr. Chairman, I will let the councilman speak to that. This is the situation where, for whatever reason, and historically, this ordinance has been in the building code as opposed to the zoning code. So then typically there's not, it's different public notice that requirements than, than under the zone, under like a BOZA appeal. So
Okay.
the department did not communicate with the neighbors, but I don't think we have the responsibility to do so.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
on behalf of the board, we have adopted a new policy when it comes to swimming pools. I do notify the adjacent neighbors and the neighbors in the back of them who may be affected by a swimming pool being installed less than 10 feet from the property line. We did receive a response from one neighbor located at 4783 Lanchester Road, saying that they had no objections to the swimming pool being installed.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Councilman?
Yeah, I was going to echo that. It's a wonderful street. I know all the neighbors there. Everybody gets along. Nobody has any problems with anybody, and I would not object to Mr. Roach's swimming pool either.
Okay. So that being the case, I would say that we would approve the variance from 10 feet from the neighbor to 6 feet. Motion is in order to approve that variance.
So move.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley,
Second.
second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Okay, the notification will go out within 2 weeks, so you're good to go. Okay,
Can I get my, can I go down and get my permit then for that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Pat,
Well,
Yes,
you may need to make that an emergency resolution if it's 2 weeks.
Well, if he gets his permit, that'll just be noticed, but I guess, yeah.
Mr.
maybe you're
Chairman,
right.
this is Patty, and I think Mr. Vanover can echo that. I believe that Mr. Maschke is correct. Or something from the board stating that the variance is granted, that the 505 in the building department would accept, and I would defer to Mr. Vanover as to what that would take. Usually, if we're in person, it would be that paper for emergency variance.
Okay, so we'll probably get it from Ms. Davis. Correct, Mr. Vanover?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just an email from the board stating that, this was granted and that an emergency resolution is issued. We'll be fine.
Okay,
So,
Carmella can, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, so to amend what the motion, we're now issuing an emergency resolution for the appellant to come down by Friday to make application for the variance, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Roach, I will be working on that this afternoon. You probably will receive it probably by tomorrow morning, and then you will be able to go and make your application by Friday.
Okay, they'll know about the variance.
All of that will be included in the emergency resolution.
Okay, if I go down and see, I can't remember the person's name I go to all the time.
I believe Rodney Wells might have been your.
Right, yes, Rodney Wells. Will
Okay.
he'll have all that information for me when I go down there tomorrow?
I will email it to him as well as the chief building official.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you all. We have next docket, A 4022. Okay, that's 3101 East 116th Street.
Application and fees are in order. This is a notice of violation of a condemnation of the main structure issued on February 15th of 2022. Appellant appeal received by March 15th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violation. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
Rico Curtis, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Okay.
Let's take a look where you are on here. Okay, Rico Curtis. All right, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead with your plans.
Okay, my plans is to finish the building off. My heating and cooling guy, he went to try to pull a permit, and they gave him the information that the building was condemned. But I guess from the understanding that he gave me, that he was able to continue on with the work. The permit and everything should be on file. I have the permit for the electrical. I need to finish the plumbing is what I need. I need to be able to pull a permit to finish the plumbing, and everything else should be in order. No more than closing up a couple walls because I've done electrical.
Okay, so because it is condemned, you will need all the permits. But we'll go ahead and what are you looking time-wise, just so I have something to go by for?
I'm thinking 60 or 90 days.
Okay. All right, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, there are no permits for or inspections on this. So any work that's been completed will require all 4 permits. The city's boarded this up as early as 2020. So the violation notice was issued. The violation notice was issued and began in 21. So We don't object to more time, providing, of course, all the permits are pulled timely.
Okay, you have no record of any of the permits being pulled or
I do
just
not.
inspected? Nothing, huh? Okay.
I do not. There's a permit from 2017 for an electrical permit, but there's been no permit, and that was just to get the meter base put on at one of the apartments. So we don't have any records. So any of the work that's been done will require permits. And as a 4 dwelling unit structure, Mr. Chairman, this will require contractors to conduct all of it. So whomever did the electrical work that the appellate speaks of will need to have permits in place.
Okay, so go ahead, Mr. Curtis.
Yeah, that's what. Well, he stated, because I do have a permit right here in front of me. I don't know what the procedure is, but I know I did put a permit, electrical permit. I have power on at the building. I don't know, like I say, I don't know what's the procedures, but we did pull a permit in
Mr.
2017.
Chairman, what is that permit number?
Okay, he's asking for the permit number, Mr. Curtis.
Okay, the permit number is E170-42805.
So, Mr. Chairman, that's the permit that I spoke of. It was a permit to get the power on in 2017. But it is not, there are no permits for any of the electrical upgrades or repairs. It appears that there's obviously electrical work been done. A licensed electrical contractor has to submit the permit that is in place. That B17 permit will not satisfy the condemnation.
Okay. So you're going to need all 4 permits to be pulled in order to, and we're going to need an inspection here. So, Mr. Vanover, how do you want to proceed with this?
Mr. Chairman, we don't object to a short period of time to obtain the permits and then 90 days to complete the correction. With the failure to meet, remands it back to the department. It appears that this property was purchased in 2016.
Okay.
So it's been, there's been a lot of time pre-pandemic and post-pandemic to correct this. So we don't object to more time, but licensed, registered contractors have to pull all 4 permits because this is a commercial property and it's corporately owned.
Okay. All right. So we would give 2 weeks, Mr. Curtis, to obtain the permits by licensed professional contractors, okay, from the city. And let's see, and we'll be looking for, that would be August 3rd, by August 3rd, 2022, and then to complete the violations by October 20th, 2022, to complete all the violations. Motion is in order.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maskey,
Maskey, whatever.
Yes.
Mr. Bradley, Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, a notice will be sent in 2 weeks. Thank you. Okay, next docket is A3922, 2814 East 120th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, issued on February 25th of 2022. Appeal received March 16th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Carmel, this is Patty. I do not see or Mr. Chairman, I do not see a Nakisha Spencer in the panel of anybody signed in, and she did have a email given to her appeal paperwork. Do you want to swear in Mr. Vanover and I will do my
Sure.
inquiry? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing via WebEx get returned to the board's file for any reason whatsoever?
Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Ashton, no.
Thank you. And did you receive any communication regarding this docket via email, fax, voice message, etc.?
To Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Ashton, no.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, at this point, unless Ms. Davis finds out otherwise or something comes in later, it appears you've proper due process notice to go ahead and proceed on this docket. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and proceed. Mr. Vanover?
Mr. Chairman, based on the, I mean, I think the pictures speak for themselves regarding the condition of the property. We would ask that, so this was a new purchase in 2019, according to our records. The rental registration was that it has not been rental registered since that time, since the transfer. We received, you know, a couple of complaints on it. These are tenant complaints. Bear with me just a moment as I go through. Ms. Davis, do you have a violation number that this appeal was filed under?
I do. Violation, give me 1 second. The violation number I have is V as in Victor 22004762.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, it does appear this is a two-family and there was violations written for each of the 2 units. This one is this one, the one that's being appealed is still not been corrected. It is a rental unit. It appears that the second of the 2 that they actually corrected the violations. So I don't understand the difference, but we would ask that you deny more time. This is a rental property, and they have a responsibility to maintain it for their tenants.
Okay, sounds good. So we will deny any more time and remand the property back to the Department of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion in order?
So moved.
Second. All right, moved by Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, they'll be notified within 2 weeks. Okay, we'll do the next docket is A4122. 4218 Cyril Avenue. Oh, we're gonna pull, I guess we should pull these together, I believe. So we got an A4122 and an A4222, and they're front and back properties at 4218 Cyril Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violations is electrical and interior and exterior maintenance, issued on February 24th of 2022. Appeal statement received March 22nd of 2022. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law, with the appellant or his or her attorney or representative. Please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see a Marcello Galarza listed in the participants panel. He did provide an email address at a Hotmail address, I think. If you would go ahead and swear in Mr. Vanover, I'll do my inquiry.
Got it. Okay. Mr. Vanover solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, Patty, go ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing on these two dockets, 41 and 4222 front and rear properties, get returned to the board's files for any reason?
To Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Ashton, no.
And thank you. And did you receive any communication on these two matters, voicemail, email, fax, etc., on these dockets?
To Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Ashton, no.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, it appears you have a proper due process notice to proceed unless something comes in later to Ms. Davis. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sounds good. Mr. Vanover?
So, Mr. Chairman, there are there's two structures here, and there's 3 violation notices for each. The electrical violations, which include considerable hazards, as well as the illegal use, because apparently they're being, according to the violation notices, they're being used as boarding houses or single room occupancies, which is contrary to the established use, as well as the interior and exterior maintenance violations. So this is a considerable amount of hazards. We would ask that you deny it and remand it back to the department so that we can take further action simply on the for the safety of any inhabitants. You can see from the photographs the electrical conditions in this property are just ripe for danger.
Right on. Okay. With that, we'll find that the violations do exist. We deny any more time, and we remand the property to the Department of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion is in order.
Move.
Motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Maskey. Call the roll.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, they will be notified within 2 weeks. Thank you. All right, we'll call the next docket A4322 19109 Chickasaw Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is no permit. Issued on February 17th of 2022. Appeal statement received March 18th of 2022. Requesting for more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see a Gregory Pollard listed in the participants panel, and he did provide an email address in his appeal paperwork to Ms. Davis. If you'd swear in Mr. Vanover.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing get returned to the board's files for any reason?
Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Ashton, no.
Thank you. And did you receive any communication on this docket past the filings, the original filings, voicemail, email, fax, etc.?
To Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Ashton, no.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, unless something comes up otherwise, it appears you have proper due process notice for this docket to proceed. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman to Ms. Davis, how much time was requested?
Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Vanover, when the appellant came down in February of 2022, he wanted to resolve the matter by pulling a permit. the conversation you and I had, it wasn't a clear process of what permit that should be issued. I know he said that his son had died unexpectedly and his wife had also fell ill. He was an 82-year-old man trying to remove items from his house by himself. He did not give me in detail how much time he would need to move the items into the pod. I thought that he might have more communication with Mr. Shockley, or since Mr. Shockley been out, the other young man that's been filling in for Mr. Shockley on when he was going to be done, but he hasn't followed up with me.
So, Mr. Chairman, without clear understanding of what that was requested, this is an owner-occupied structure. This is an ordinance that is actually, although all permits are considered under the building code through the city of the city of Cleveland building code, the particular requirements for this permit live within the zoning code. And this is, Mr. Shockley has been involved. We would not object to 180 days to abate the nuisance.
Okay.
And come into compliance.
Okay, sounds good. You're saying 180 days?
I am.
Okay. All right. So motion is in order for January 20th, 2023 to abate the violation.
So move.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley,
Second.
second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Askey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Thank you. Okay, next docket, A 4422 3947 Robert Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violations is exterior maintenance, issued on March 11th of 2022. Appeal statement received March 23rd of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
Hi, Rachel Miller's here.
Okay. Ms. Miller, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, go ahead and tell us what your plans are.
I did send in photos. My whole backyard is completely cleaned up. I did have a tarp on my roof during the winter time to prevent any damage to it, because when I bought the house in 2016, I guess they did an extension. Just last week, I had a big branch fall from my tree. So that is the only thing right now that's right on that cemented area that I have to get out to the trash, but everything else is completely cleaned up.
Okay, so time-wise, is the roof taken care of, did you say?
I just had a tarp just to protect it. There's no damage or anything. It's just the roof, it's flat and it doesn't slant.
Okay, but there isn't a violation on that, right?
It just said the tarp on my roof and my backyard. That was it. The tarp is removed. I did have a photo of that where you can see I had to climb up a tree to get that photo.
Okay.
But everything else is completely done.
Okay, you're just needing to get that branch out of there.
Right.
So time-wise, what do you need?
Just 30 days just to get the branches in the garbage for the mail, for the truck to come pick it up every Friday.
Okay. All right, let's go over to Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, so can the tarp be removed?
The tarp is removed. I sent a photo where the tarp is completely off the roof. I only did that during the winter time, but it's not there.
Is it, Mr. Chairman, is it weather tight?
Yes, the tarp is a weatherproof type. Yes.
Yeah, but the roof without the tarp, is the roof without the tarp weather tight?
I believe, I'm not for sure. I can't access that area unless I climb it with a ladder. I don't know. They did an extension to the house when before I purchased the house in 2016.
And you can't get to it from the inside?
Correct, because they have it all boarded up from the upstairs where they tried to put a door, but I guess it wasn't successful. But there's no tarp up there. There hasn't been a tarp up there. The citation.
Okay.
It's been taken off.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, I mean, it is identified in the violation notice as long as it is weather tight. The violation notice also references a generator.
The generator is when I had my power off during the winter time, but it wasn't ran all the time. When I left the premises, the generator was turned off, but I do have my power back on in my house, so there is no generator running.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, we don't object to the 30 days requested. It seems like, Mr. Chairman, the appellate, you may want to reach out to a contractor to see what's going on with your roof and with your addition. I see that this was a rental property that you purchased and it is currently owner occupied, correct?
Yes.
You live in this home.
Yes.
So we don't object to more time, but it seems like you should, reach out to somebody and see what's going on so that there is no leaking later, right?
Right.
Or if you can't access the area, who knows what's happening?
The only thing I can do is just pull up a ladder and climb up there, but there's no other access.
Mr. Chairman, I think we're having a little technical issues. Building and Housing did submit their photos of this property, trying to work out the issues for Maurice now so they can see the pictures that they showed, the before and after.
Okay, I'm seeing some of them now. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's been completely cleaned up.
Okay. All right.
So we don't object, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sounds
time.
good. All right, so we'll give you to August 20th, 2022 to abate any of the violations that exist from this. Motion so in order?
Move. Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll get notice within 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the next docket, A4522, 10561 Remington Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is a condemnation of the main structure issued January 19th of 2022. Appeal statement received February 10th of 2022, requesting for more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Hi, good morning. Ballin Jarrett.
Hey, Mr. Jarrett, you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
My initial plan was I purchased the property from a guy from Philadelphia. He's the owner of Parker Unlimited Properties, LLC. And also, he has a construction company and also a loan company. So our agreement was that he was going to rehab it for a fee of $500 a month. And I initially was paying $500 a month for about 7 months, and there was no follow up. So now I'm trying to sell it to someone more local because I'm from Philadelphia, and I try to sell it to someone more local that can take care of the problem better than I can.
Okay, I understand that's a tough situation. We as a board, we don't give time to sell the property. We do give time for getting rid of the violations. Okay, it exists. This is a condemned property from what I'm seeing. And so that is what we would give you time to do. But with that and telling us what you're saying, I'm going to put it over to Mr. Vanover to give his testimony.
So, Mr. Chairman, that's exactly right. We would object to any more time to just transfer the property. So we would ask that you deny more time and remand it to us. And along the same vein, I would recommend that the appellant reach out to the council person and reach out to the Community Development Corporation in the neighborhood, which I think this is Glendale. But reaching out to Councilman Hairston would be a place to start. But just to transfer the property and sell it is not, we would object to more time for that purpose.
Okay. All right. So, this is a unique situation, and being that you're out of town too makes it tough. So we would deny any more time for the property, and we would remand it back to the city for any further action to be taken. So that would be our motion. Motion is in order.
So
Okay. Motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maskey,
yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you will be notified within 2 weeks then. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next docket, A4622, 1204 East 173rd Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, issued on January 6th of 2022. Appeal statement received February 3rd of 2022. Requesting more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see, I'm going to massacre it, but I think it's Xiaoqi Song who provided.
Song.
Oh, thank you. Are you there?
I am. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
I was muted.
Was it Mary Sanders?
Mary
Okay.
Sanders.
Thank you.
Mary? Okay. All right, very good. Okay, Ms. Sanders, you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us.
Mr. Chairman, if I can,
Yes.
this is Patty again, preliminarily to Ms. Sanders. I do see that you are the manager on here, but the terms of agreement expired in June of 22. Is there a current management term for Gatey Investments?
Yes.
If you could provide that to the board, I would just state, Mr. Chairman, as we sit here today, when it was filed, there's an obvious agency agreement for a management agreement, but by its own terms that was provided, it expired on the 1st of June, 2022. So as long as Ms. Sanders provides that to the board before adoption, it would show that she does currently have the ability to proceed. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll require that you do that. Anyways, Ms. Sanders, go ahead and proceed. Let us know what your plans.
The repairs are done on the property.
Okay.
It was a handrail, some cracks in the ceiling, and a removal of a hot water tank. The hot water tank went out during the winter, so the guy that repaired the water tank didn't remove the old one. So that has been removed from the property, and the handrail has been installed.
Okay. We'll go over to Mr. Vanover.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, my other computer just crashed. So I
You get
would
it
say,
wing it.
if that is the case, we would not object to 30 days. Grant another 30 days to make sure that the property, I did not receive a report from the inspector stating that everything was in compliance. Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, have you had the property inspected by your inspector, Inspector Blazovic?
Ms. Sanders?
No, I haven't spoke with Mr. Blazovic.
All right. So, Mr. Chairman, we
I,
would,
yeah,
uh,
I called in. Well, that's okay.
go ahead.
No, I had called in and spoke with the secretary, Carmelia, but I never got in touch with the inspector.
So on your, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, on your notice of violation, at the bottom is the inspector's name. They're the ones that will reinspect and close your violation notice.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, we don't object to granting another 30 days to get the final inspection and get the violation notice closed. And Mr. Chairman and Ms. Sanders, understand that the violation is opened until it's closed.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that it gets inspected and that the inspector closes it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll give it to August 20th, 2022 to go ahead and take care of that, and that'll hopefully close out that violation, and you'll be all set. Motion is in order.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
also she needs to get me that updated agreement by August 2nd before we adopt this resolution on August 3rd.
Okay, so that part of the motion is to get that into Ms. Davis so that we have it by August 2nd. Okay?
Okay. Thank
motion, you. Mr. Bradley? Second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified within 2 weeks. This is why we need that information in there before then. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next docket is A 4722 10310 Thrush Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is a fire damage issued on February 28th of 2022. Appeal statement received March 28th of 2022 to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover. Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Eric Newton.
Hey, Mr. Newton, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
Well, this property unfortunately caught on fire on December 24th of 2021. There was a significant delay because there was a investigation pursuant to that fire. I have since, as you can see in the photos, I've repaired or replaced all the damage, all the smoke damage in the house. I've put new windows throughout the entire house. I've replaced all the smoke damaged outlets. I've replaced all of the damaged fixtures. The only thing I have left now is just trimming out, caulking my new woodwork. I'm going to cap the exterior windows. I bought one of those things. I forget what's it called, a window brake, for bending the metal. So I have to go outside and cap all the windows. I put in, if you look at the, I know I'm pointing, which is just silly. On the far left of the picture of the front of the house, those damaged windows have been replaced with glass block windows. I did that for security. That's actually an enclosed porch. So those are really heavy to put in, but they're in, they're secured. There's new doors all throughout the house, exterior and interior, and the floors are in the back room, the bathroom, and in the kitchen. Those are all trimmed out, and really the only thing that's left for me now is like I said, some just some final stuff. Just like trim work and things of that sort, and capping the windows.
Is this owner occupied?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay, it's a rental for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, how much more time do you think you need to finish up?
30 days, realistically.
Okay. All right, we'll go over to Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, we have no objection.
Okay, very good. That's what we'll do. Looks great. Pictures look good.
Thank you.
So you got till August 20th, 2022 to abate any of the rest of the violations. Motion is so in order.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Maskey.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
Could I ask one quick question?
You sure can.
Okay, so I'm going to finish everything up. Just within those 30 days, I just need to call my inspector and have him come out to do the final inspection.
I would say yes.
Okay, I've never done this before. I apologize. I just want to be sure I got it right.
No problem. That'd be the best way to do it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Next docket is A3822 16710 Endora Road.
Application and fees are in order. This is a permit extension request from suspended or abandoned work performed under the following permits: B180-22447, B180-27081, and B200-10584. Issued on January 31st of 2022. The appellant was requesting for 6 months extension on those permits, on the above permits. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. With the owner or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
Eric Steiner.
Okay. Eric, Mr. Steiner? Mr.
Yes.
Steiner. Okay. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. Very good. All right. Any other comments?
No, not really. I just want an extension so we can finish off the property, finish the house. I've pulled several permits already. I had gotten sick, and then the pandemic and all that. Then I had a surgery. I'm finally well, but then I get to these suspension of the permit, so I had to wait until it came here so we can get the house finished up.
Okay. Let's see where we're at with this. So get over to Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is bear with me. This is the second set of permits.
Right.
I'm sorry. This is the third set of permits. since this structure was condemned in 2018. And it is owned by an LLC. So it's been sitting in this condition. This is the third time. There's never been a single inspection for any work done on these properties. We would ask that you deny the request for this appeal, and so that allow the city to and remand it back to the city.
Okay, so it sounds like, and this is for rental purposes. Is that what this is?
I'm just a contractor on there.
Okay.
The guy, he keeps running out of money, so that's one of the reasons. That's the holdup. There's the plumbing is 90% done. The furnaces are in, but somebody stole the furnaces, so we reinstalled the furnaces. So the ductwork has to be done for that. The electrical on the first floor is done. They have to do the second floor in the attic, and that's all the inside stuff. And then there's the cosmetics on the outside. They had a new roof put in. They had a new driveway, asphalt driveway put in. They just put in some new rails. So, I mean, it was making progress. You have to repair the porch on the second floor. Nothing was done enough to even start the asphalt permit. I mean, for an inspection.
Okay, I got you.
Mr. Chairman, the statement was just made that the plumbing is 90% done.
Right.
How can you have in the same comment that the plumbing is 90% done, but it's not ready for inspection? There have been no inspections on this house.
I never called for it because we wasn't finished. That's
at
why.
90% done, Mr. Chairman. If the plumbing is 90% done, then I mean there should have been at least 2 inspections.
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Vanover. I think
we would ask. This is. I mean, this. There's no evidence presented, and there's no evidence in our records that any work has been done on this that was ever, to inspect. So we would ask again. This is the 3rd set of permits. We would ask that you. It's an investment property that's owned by an LLC. We would ask that you deny the request to reopen these invalid permits.
Okay, and that is, I believe, what we're going to do. We're going to deny the request, and we're going to remand the property back to the Department of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion is in order.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Maskey.
Second.
Oh, second by Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mr. Dink.
Yes.
Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks, I believe, and then you can proceed from there. Thank you. Okay, next docket, A10222, 17701 Chatfield Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. This is an adjudication order for pool installation, proposing 8 feet from the property line. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
Christopher Zwolinski.
Okay, Mr. Zwolinski, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, you've given us the information. Is there anything else that you care to say?
No, sir, just respectfully requesting that I be granted. I've almost completed a new garage. The 6-foot fence is up around the perimeter of the yard. I'm in excess of $55,000 and just had a choice to move or stay and invest in the property, and I chose to stay and invest in the property.
Okay, let's go back to Ms. Davis on, I know you mentioned that you send out notices to the neighbors before. Have we done that for this property?
Mr. Chairman, yes, the appellant also provided photographic images of where the pool was going to be located. I did notify the neighbors adjacent to the property and behind. We did receive one letter back from the neighbor. Behind this property stating that he support Mr. Zulowski in receipt of installing the pool, and he had no objections to it.
Okay, very good. It looks nice from the pictures. Okay.
Thank you. If I may, board, there was Aaron Nestor, my one neighbor who replied. The neighbor behind me, there was 2 letters submitted. And I did send pictures of the proposed fence, what it would look like. It is almost completed other than the gate, the proposed.
Mr. Chairman, we have no objections.
Okay, that'll cut to the chase right there. No objections. I guess we're looking at another one of these emergency resolutions. Is that correct?
Please.
That is correct.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll do the, we'll go ahead and approve the variance. So motion to approve an emergency resolution, and we're approving the variance of 2 feet for the pool to be put in. Motion so in order.
So move.
A motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, so you'll get notification quicker, actually, I think, now that it's been emergency resolved.
May I come down and request a permit? Will the information?
You will
Reach out to Mr. Wells tomorrow afternoon.
Very good.
We're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I think we have them all covered here so far. So we have approval of resolutions. A622, A2922, A3022, A3122, A2822, A3422, A3522, A3622, A3322, A3722. Motion is in order.
So move. Second.
Okay,
Did
moved
you
by
say
Mr. What's that?
Did you say 14121?
Look, I did not. A412021, I did not.
Okay.
Is that in there?
Yes.
Maybe that's from the front page. It sure is. A4121 included in that. So motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, approval of the minutes. Are there any for July 6, 2022? Are there any additions or corrections?
No.
Okay, motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Maskey.
Second.
By Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, is there any other business to come before the board?
No.
Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good day.
Yes,
everybody.
Carmel, I sent you an email from a guy from California trying to get hold of me the last